I have some thoughts on personal finance influencers. So that's what I have to chat about today. And in the meantime, I have some things to get done around here. I have to unload the dishwasher. I'm going to make some coffee and I'm going to make my breakfast. So that's what I'm going to do in the meantime. So I've been thinking about personal finance and the influencers that are talking about it lately. And this isn't everyone. This is just, I guess, the people that have come across my feed lately on Instagram. There is, first of all, there are tons of amazing people. Like I mentioned Tanisha in my last video, and she's incredible. Dr. Ninja Turtle, if you haven't checked his channel out. Mary from Penny's Not Perfection. Who else do I watch a lot? The Cronson family is good. And I grew up I learned what I know about personal finance from YouTube channels, mostly. So there's so much good that's in the community. However, I feel like there's a lot that we don't see. Obviously, we don't see the full picture. And lately on Instagram, there's this one girl, and if you're curious, message me and I'll tell you who it is. She, I think, started out, she's a working mom, two daughters, and her husband also works. And she started doing, I guess, fashion and then like working mom content, which great for her. But now she's trying to transition into the personal finance section. Or I don't know if she started that way. I haven't done a deep dive. I started seeing her as a working mom, and then she started posting her personal finance content. And the first thing I saw from her was her telling people that it was silly just to keep your emergency fund in a high yield savings account, that you should invest it. I was like, girl, that's irresponsible, because if the market goes down, you lose money and you need to take that money out. There's a reason why financial experts who do have training in this say to keep it in a high yield savings account. So I was like, that just didn't seem very responsible. But if she wanted to make a living going after the personal finance content, go for it. And then I just saw she posted a thing about how she became work optional in her 30s. And I'm like, okay. So when something like first of all, that's awesome. And that's my goal too. If you're new here, I'm also a mom. I work full-time in the digital marketing space. I am late to the game and to the game of savings. But I do have a retirement timeline that I would like to be work optional too. Like, of course, that's amazing. That's the goal. So I want to acknowledge that. But the headline of like being work optional in your 30s got me thinking about all the other invisible advantages that you have. And again, I haven't really dug into her because I don't want to waste my time and energy thinking about what other people have, and almost not FOMO, but the comparison. But what irks me is she's trying to make a living peddling what she knows and peddling her information. So that's kind of what kind of tweaks my sense. Is like there's so many advantages that you have to have. You have to have a stable income. You have to have a partner who also has a stable income. You have to have, in this case, she has young kids in her 30s, but she also potentially probably started younger. And they're just, again, other advantages that are not disclosed to the user. They just think, oh yeah, I want this too. And great, if it furthers someone's knowledge of personal finance, that's awesome and that's amazing and I'm all for that. I just wish that people would disclose the advantages they have that you might not have and be realistic about what's actually achievable. So it's like, and this is, I harp on this too, but I knew or was in contact with YouTubers who did real estate, and they were like pushing their real estate courses, which is amazing, but like they came from a real estate family. Like their family did real estate. The first deal that they did was with family members. So like, yes, it's going to be a little bit easier for them having seen it in their family. So, and you might say, well, then they're more qualified to teach real estate. So sure. I guess I come back to myself and being realistic and giving myself credit for things that I've learned along the way and the invisible advantages that I have that someone else might not have. For example, I have had a stable career for the last 8 years or so, a stable job. And that does not negate all the hard work and perseverance I've shown, A, to get that job, and B, to keep that job. But that's something, there was a lot of luck in that. I would say it was like maybe 30%. No. Less than that. 10% luck. 10% luck. 10% right place, right time. 80% working really hard. Yeah, so I would say that's the breakdown. Maybe a little bit different, but that doesn't negate the hard work that you put in. So of course, for someone who achieves financial independence in their 30s, work optional in their 30s, there's an amount of work and education and tenacity and perseverance that goes into that. But I think where I start to get a little bit dubious is when you're trying to peddle your knowledge and make money off of advantages that you have, which again is what people do. That's just what you do, is you make, I don't know, it's a whole personal finance influencer economy that gets me. Anyway, so let's get back to things that I can control, because I tend to spiral and discount things that I tend to lose focus, because the focus is on me and on you and what I can control in my life right now with what I have right now. So just unloaded the dishwasher. I'm about to load up the breakfast dishes, everyone else's breakfast dishes, then make my own breakfast. So I am going to brew some more coffee so that I can make coffee ice cubes. And I was kind of trying to calculate out the difference between using a Keurig pod versus the beans that we have. We buy them from Fairway. They're $15.99 a pound. I could get them cheaper, but it would mean like going out of my way, and this is just in my loop, so Fairway's on my loop. There are Fairways left in New York City. I don't know if they're anywhere else, but we love our Fairway. Let me say I appreciate our Fairway. I don't love it because they just changed their rewards system. It used to be you get $10 off for spending $20 or $200, and then they changed it to $5 off of $150. So I don't love that, but I appreciate that we get some reward for shopping there. So coffee is $15.99 for a pound. And it makes, I just Googled, a pound of coffee makes on average 24 to 36 cups. And I did the math. So a Keurig pod costs about 96 cents each. And a cup of coffee from ground beans would cost about 66 cents. So there's a savings of 30 cents. And you might think also, you might say like the energy to run the dishwasher to clean the coffee grounds would be like the energy would count for something, but electricity is all included in the maintenance fee we pay for the co-op. So there's that, that's already baked in to our fixed costs. So I'm going to use the bean coffee. I'm going to grind some beans to make coffee, which I'm going to then freeze into ice cubes so I can have coffee ice cubes for my iced coffee in the summer, which I think will be a lovely treat. So that is something that I can control right now. So there's that. Also my own financial knowledge. And how am I building that? I've mentioned before I had ChatGPT build me a personal finance curriculum so I can learn a little bit more about personal finance every month. So I have a new topic every month. Last month was asset allocation. It started super simple, like what is a definition of an asset? What's a stock? Things like that. And then I'm building up. So this is month 6 of the year. This is June. So that is where I am going to put. So there's this trick because coffee grounds all of a sudden started spurting out of our machine. And I think it's due to static. So I put 1 drop of water in the coffee beans, and that seems to alleviate the problem. So then I stir the coffee beans around, and then it alleviates the static, and the beans tend to stay put. So thank you also for bearing with me in this lighting. I'm going to try to do something about the lighting. I think that would be helpful. But right now I'm just trying to do what I can with what I have where I am right now. Thank you, Dwight Eisenhower, for that quote. Okay, so, sorry, let me turn you around. Ooh, that is our coffee maker. This is how I set her up. Like that, and ignore the time, it's wrong. I'm pouring in the water there. So I'm going to set the coffee to brewing, and I'm going to save you the sound of coffee beans being ground. I love this coffee maker. It's a Cuisinart. We've had it for like 5 years and it's amazing. And I will pick back up in a bit. Rant over. Back to focusing on myself and what I can control, which is myself. The only thing I can change is myself. Breakfast is egg whites with greens again, and I'm also having a little container of non-fat Greek yogurt with maybe a teaspoon of honey and some hemp seeds. It's interesting, they're my daughter's favorite. She loves having yogurt with seeds on it. They also have a lot of iron in them, which is really good for the little ones as well. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm also getting ready to go to a conference tomorrow, which is exciting. I went to a conference for the first time in a long time last year, which was great. And I'm really excited to go again. This is something that I found and I wanted to go to. So I'm excited to do that and potentially report back. We'll tell you more about that after it happens. So that's what I have coming up immediately. And then we have Father's Day is on Sunday, so we're planning to make a trip down to Delaware to visit my husband's family. So that will be fun. Yeah, and what's coming up? Still kind of continuing with the prep for summer camp. And by prep, I mean kind of trying not hide under a rock, but just trying to marshal with what I already have before I go buying new things. Although I'm sure I will need to purchase some new things, like a swim towel and swim shoes, and maybe a new, I'm thinking like new water bottle, new lunchbox. Like she already has that. She'll be fine. We'll just slap a new label on them so people know that they're hers. The label was worn off. That's the only thing that needs to be adjusted. And she's fine. She loves her lunchbox and her current water bottle. So that's what we have coming up. That's what I'm dealing with at the moment. As always, I'm trying bit by bit trying to declutter while doing like the things that always need to be done, like laundry and dishes and all that, and making meals and like cleaning up at the end of the day. We have a new air conditioner that we would like to be installed in the bedroom. So we're having some guys come in to do that on Friday. And what I would like to do by then is have the house a little bit more presentable. So again, a lot of this is that's just clutter. But there's some floor space there. Oh my gosh, my poor husband's desk. I feel bad for him. 'Cause I try, but then he like yells at me for going through his stuff, which he has every right to do. Like, that's not my stuff. I should not go through with it. I should not go through it, but I also want to make it like neat because I had the time. Anyway, so I would like it to be a little bit neater for the guys when they come in, so they have more space to work. And so we feel more comfortable having them in our house. So that is what I would like to do at some point, but I got a lot going on today with work, etc. So I will probably not be doing a ton of that today. So that's what I got. I'm going to dive into some more work. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. And as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you keep watching.